Evolving towards better is for you. Let's get to work. Click the link to schedule your session at Evolve for Life today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Winning Ways. I am your host, Stephannie Solomon. Thank you for joining me today. Wow, happy Women's History Month to women everywhere, everywhere. I heard someone ask why? Why a month to celebrate different groups and whatever? Well, I wish we didn't have to, but we have to because so many people are unaware of their neighbors, unaware of people who they work with, or people who do not look like them, share the same cultures, beliefs, and what have you. So much has been downplayed. Things are being removed and burned and banned. As far as books and learning experiences are of diversity is how people are different from us and celebrating that diversity. Those opportunities and they're just being taken away from us. And we live in a space where there are a lot of people who have continued prejudice oriented thinking, towards people who are not like them, their family, or groups that they associate with. So we need to educate others, and really we need to be educated ourselves about others who live in the same space, breathe the same air as us. Sad that we have to go there. As much as things change, they stay the same. But that's the world that we live in. I'm glad that we're celebrating Women's History Month. Black History Month was last month, and a month is really not enough. As someone said, Black History 365, 365 days a year. So the bottom line is we need to learn about our neighbors. We need to know about people who are different than us. We may never be the best of friends, but we need to be aware. Don't always have to accept those beliefs that they have, but we need to be aware. And so that's why we have one of the reasons why we have these moments. And I'm glad that we live in an imperfect country, but yet our country still acknowledges in some form with these months and these days. And not everyone celebrates, I'm sure, but still we have the opportunity to. So I'm grateful for that. So happy Women's History Month. All right. All right, if you're new to this broadcast, I'm going to move along very quickly because this is another recording. I recorded earlier today and found out midway as I put up my slides, the audio just disappeared. So I had to do this again. But I'm going to move really quickly with this. If you're new to this broadcast, I'm an author who's been podcasting since 2010 on the audio side only. And I basically teach topics from my books. And I also am a life coach, and I teach from those experiences as well. There's always something more to talk about, especially with one topic. That's a lot to talk about. All right, so if you like what you hear, like what you see, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe, especially if you're on that YouTube side, all right? And comment with your positive comments, always acceptable, always acceptable. Well, and I'm embracing them. And yeah, share and like as well. Something happens when you're sharing, you're liking, you're commenting. The algorithm acknowledges that activity and things start to happen. My mission is to grow the community on that side called YouTube. All right. So that's what's happening here. I also want to give a shout out to individuals who've been viewing in the age range of 24 to 34. Well, hello. Thank you for viewing. Your numbers are increasing, but it makes sense. I was sharing this with some individuals who are like-minded in the space that I'm in. We were looking at our analytics and sharing. And as a Life coach, that age group is the age group that gives the most inquiries and the most commitments. It makes sense. I want to shout out also, um, gentlemen, yeah, 65% in the last 28 days, the last month, 65%. Thank you for stopping by. I hope that you are enjoying the content. Let me know. All right. All right. I always get inspired when I'm talking about a topic, as I said, from my life coaching or my writings. Well, today I'm coming from my third book, Aging with Grace, Reflections That Revive Women. And the chapter is Winning Women. I'm going to read three short excerpts and then get right into it. Winning women. Winning women see life as a race that they must win. They are in it to win it. And second excerpt is whether they have giant gains or baby steps, winning women keep the idea or task at hand moving. With power and grace, women who win work what they have been given to the max. Working is showing the Lord just how much they believe Him to do right by them. Working the vision, the gift, the assignment ultimately results in wonderful things happening for the woman of God. Let it be known, ladies, that you grew in His grace. You recognized, respected, and worked what He chose to send your way. As a result, the world around you witnessed your victories. They saw you winning. All right. With that said, the topic tonight or this video, top four character strengths of women. And I want to say winning women, women who are impacting their families, women who are impacting communities, their jobs, workplaces rather, the market space, in finance and medicine. They're movers and shakers in politics and education, in the military. What is it? Well, there's several things, but I want to focus on character. I believe the character of a person, period, man or woman, takes him or her far. I believe that people gravitate to people who have proven consistently that their character always wins. People are drawn to that. Now, these character strengths are many, and I just want to uh, hone in on four of them. So bear with me. I do not want this to close on me like it did before. All right, the first one is endurance. So let's see how I'm going to. There we go. So, endurance, our ability to exert ourselves and remain active for a long period of time, as well as our ability to resist, withstand, recover from, and have immunity to trauma, wounds, or fatigue. That's amazing. To endure. He that endures, when we keep hearing endure, you go through. When you endure, you may be suffering, more than likely. You've been waiting for something for a long time, but you're not sitting around doing nothing. You're active. Look at what this says. This definition says, and remain active. You exert yourself. What does that mean to exert? You're working. You're putting in effort. One is putting in effort. There is physical energy being used here, psychological energy, mental energy, emotional exertion, and yet remaining active for a long period of time. At the same time, there is an ability to resist, to withstand against the effects of trauma and wounds. Now, what I like about this second part, there's an ability to recover from trauma, wounds, and fatigue. I can say that I have seen individuals do the first part of this nearly well, but the last part, not so much. Sometimes we get in that wait, long haul work mode, We are so used to having an expectation that takes a long time coming, but we know we got to put something in because it's just around the corner. Just one more day, you're closer, you're closer. This won't last forever. We hear all of that, and you're in this thing for years. You're so used to work mode, and there's no recovery. Even I've seen people get a blessing and expectation, but the recovery, the whole part of recovering from the trauma, the wounds, and the fatigue that went into enduring is not there. And I think that impacts the appreciation of that blessing, whatever it is that we were hoping for. When it's there, we tend not to celebrate as we ought to because we haven't understood the purpose and the necessity of recovery. All right, there's another character strength I want to highlight: forbearance. Oh, this is a big one. I know it's a big one for me when I realized the Spirit of God was telling me to do this. And I fought against it initially. And of course, that cost me. And I didn't win. I didn't win in the beginning of the situation because I resisted this. I was tired of enduring. Okay. And I was ready to throw in the towel. Now, I'm not saying that you never should throw in the towel. There are times when I've talked about this before, we got to know when to jump ship on some things, depending on what they are. A whole nother show. All right. But forbearance here is the ability to have patient self-control, not to be impulsive, not to be highly impatient. All right. But tolerant and being able to have some self-restraint. All right. While in a stressful or unpleasant situation without becoming overwhelmed. That's a lot being said here. It's not just saying the ability to be patient or the ability to be tolerant. Oh my God, look at what they're saying. We are expected to be tolerant in a bad situation, whatever that is, without allowing it to overwhelm us. Wow, there are a lot of pieces to that. And it's easy for any of us to miss some of those pieces. Oh, we can give ourselves credit for this self control, but was it patient self control? Oh, we showed some restraint. All right. But were we overwhelmed emotionally? Forbearance. That's something we all need to work on. All right. Let's look at another one: perseverance. Oftentimes, I've heard individuals talk about perseverance as if it was endurance or endurance as perseverance, but they are very different. Perseverance is our persistence in doing something despite the difficulty or delay in achieving success. Look at that again. We're persistent in a difficult situation. We're persistent when what we want has not come in the time frame that we want it to come. Yeah, there's some delay, in achieving success. That's hard if we're really honest because we're not consistent every day. We're human, we're frail, we're prone to not being consistent. So perseverance comes out of really a life of consistency. We are determined, we're intentional, we're focused on getting through and seeing what's on the other side. And finally, for tonight, not finally out of all the character strengths, but for tonight, just four, I want to highlight resilience. Resilience, that's our capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties. We're pliable, we're malleable. Resilience. I like this. Notice how these four character strengths have multiple aspects connected to them. Here we have the capacity, the bandwidth to withstand difficulties or to recover quickly from a difficult situation. Is that easy? Absolutely not. Is it possible? Absolutely. If we look carefully at all of these, we all need work in these areas and we need help in these areas. We need help to endure. We need help to forbear. We need help to persevere. We need help to be resilient. And the perfect one to help us is the Holy Spirit, because all things are possible through Him, through the Holy Spirit. And I'm telling you, we can find reason not to be uh, resilient, reason not to endure, cut it off. I do believe at some point there's, I don't want to get into a whole nother topic, but to endure the things that not just matter, but are a part of purpose. That's the thing. Knowing the difference. Is this part of my purpose? There's a conversation that's been had and going on. I've been seeing it on Instagram and on YouTube. Conversation about glorifying suffering, glorifying strong women, strong Black women, actually, glorifying the struggle, that we should not do that. I believe there's a discussion around it, that there's a time too that we should have a conversation about struggle, because the reality is everyone's life is not the same. And so uh, the things that usually really matter, there's a struggle involved to get, to attain, and then a struggle to maintain. And if individuals aren't taught that not without a struggle, I believe that was Dr. Vashti McKenzie wrote that book, Not Without a Struggle. There will be a misconception about life. Things that matter require struggle. Yet also, we need to understand when a battle is not ours to fight, when a battle is over, when we are released from something. Um, we ought to know if where we are, if this battle is ours, and if we are putting too much energy into something that really isn't attached to us or assigned to us, we need to know the difference. So there's a lot to discuss around that, glorifying struggles and suffering. But struggles and suffering are a part of life. That's the world we live in. And I do believe we need to understand if the struggle is meaningful. And sometimes things are imposed on us, and we don't deserve that suffering. I do believe that sometimes we don't have a one size fits all for everyone, and everyone's situation is different, and we need to look at that struggle and what I'm suffering, and see what the connection is. And a lot of this relates to our mental state, our spiritual state, our mindset as well, to connect that. So that whole piece about struggle and suffering, I will say it is a part of life. I just believe that I know what it's like to struggle with something for years, for decades. I know what it's like to be that person hearing a song or someone say it won't last, and it's lasted a long time, longer than what I would have ever imagined. And then, like I said, there's so many aspects of a person's story with that. But the bottom line is struggle and suffering is real. How we handle it, how we see struggles and suffering, I think will build character, and will determine how we show up, for ourselves and how we show up for others. This was very quick, but a lot of conversation can be centered around endurance, forbearance, perseverance, and resilience, because these are things that help us become the transformed individual, especially as kingdom citizens, the transformed person that really impacts their family, impacts the world around them, wherever they go. Because at some point, we all can say, I now forbear, or I didn't forbear, but when I started this, I now see life differently. I'm looking through a different lens. I wasn't a person who persevered, but now that I am pursuing that, I'm noticing this about me. That's part of being transformed as well, evolving. The same thing with being resilient. These things just don't happen. We grow, we evolve into these things. And as we evolve prayerfully, we're becoming better individuals. And that's it for tonight. I don't want to get too deep, go too far. As I said, these are worthy of conversations. All right. Well, I do want to say that if you are interested in a one-on-one session with me, hey, with at Evolve for Life, that is my life coaching service. Feel free to book a session. You'll get a free consultation at www.stephaniesolomon.com. Well, it's been a great day and a long day for me, and I really hope that this recording went through. Oh, with all the technical issues, I had to persevere. I had to persevere. I tell you, making these videos is not always the light matter. All right, everybody, have a great day. These Mondays come very quickly. Have a great week. Remember, endure, forbear, persevere, be resilient. You got this. You really do. You really do. Take care, everybody, and have a wonderful and great week.